Hello everybody, how you doing? This is Mr. Dowse. This is the second part of the videos going over the 30, 60, 90 triangles. This is going over the practice problems. So just kind of get started here. Looking at number 1, it says find the missing sides and then use the steps above for help. So again, let's focus this a little bit more. I'm going to label the sides opposite the 30x. Opposite the 60, I'm going to label that x square root 3. And then opposite the 90, I'm going to label this 2x. And then here it says to solve for x. So luckily, we are actually given x here. So let me zoom in on this. X is equal to 2 here. So since x is equal to 2 here, the long leg is going to be 2 square root 3. Since we know x is 2, we just replace that with a 2. Then opposite the x, or the 90, we have 2 times x, which is now just 2 times 2. So the hypotenuse is 4. So very nice. Let's look at another one. So number 2. Opposite the 30, we label x. Opposite the 60 is x square root 3. Then opposite the 90 is 2x. So here we're going to actually have to solve for x, because we don't know what x is right off the bat. So we're going to have x square root 3 equals 12 square root 3. And to get x by itself, we're going to divide both sides by the square root of 3. And that leaves us with x is 12, which is very nice. So we know x is 12, that's the short leg. And then if we double that, 2 times 12, we get the hypotenuse. In that case, 2 is 24. Moving on to number 3. Number 3, we're given the hypotenuse. So let's label everything here with x square root 3 and 2x. So opposite the 30, I'm going to label x. Opposite the 60 is x square root 3. And opposite the 90 is 2x. So again, we don't know what x is, but we can solve it very quickly because we know 2x is equal to 6. Just divide both sides by 2, and x ends up being 3. So that means the short leg is 3, and then the long leg is just 3 square root 3, which is very nice. Moving on. 4 is very similar to number 2. So I'm going to jump ahead. I'm going to look at number 5. So number 5, I'm going to label opposite the 30 is x. If we have a 90 and a 30, the leftover has to be 60 because all three of these must equal 180. So opposite the 60 is going to be x square root 3. Then opposite the 90 is going to be labeled 2x. So here again we need to solve for x. So I'm going to set x square root 3 equal to 27. So to solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by the square root of 3. So what is 27? 27 divided by the square root of 3. That gives me roughly 15.6. So I'm going to make x equal to 15.6. And that is the short leg, 15.6. And then we double that, 2 times 15.6. That will give us the hypotenuse. So 15.6 times 2 is 31.2. Again, you can also just do the actual answer in the calculator times 2 as well. They'll generally be fairly close to each other. This rounds up to 31.2 as well. So that's the hypotenuse. Let's do a couple more. Let's look at number 6. So number 6, let's see here. So we've got a 90 and a 60. So this must be 30 because again they all have to equal 180. So opposite the 30, I would label x. Opposite the 60 is x square root 3. And then opposite the 90 is 2x. So we need to solve for x here again. So we have 2x is equal to 15. And to solve for x, we're going to divide by 2. And what's half of 15? Well, that's 7.5. So that means that the short leg is 7.5. And that means that the long leg is 7.5 square root 3. So I've done a couple of these problems here. Let's try and let you try to do a couple on your own. So I'm going to pause the video here. And so sub, please pause the video and then give them about 5 minutes to try and solve problems 4 through 12. And so let's do that. So these are the answers to the problems that I didn't do. Whoops, there goes the bell. So on number 4, the short leg is 4.5 and the hypotenuse was 9. On number 7, I ended up getting x is equal to 57.7. Let's zoom in on this one. And then I doubled that to get the hypotenuse. Again here I had to set 100 equal to x square root 3 and divide by the square root of 3. And that gave me 57.7 for the short leg. Number 8, 100 was the short leg, and then 200 was the hypotenuse. Number 9, I got the short leg was 7, so the long leg was 7 square root 3. You double 7 to get 14 to get the hypotenuse. Number 10, again, you're given a whole number for the long leg, so I just set that equal to x square root 3. Divide both sides by the square root of 3, and I got the short leg to be 19.6, because that's what x was. You double that to get the hypotenuse of 39.2. Number 11, I had to set 2x equal to 55 square root 3. I divided 55 square root 3 by 2 and got a short leg of, oops, I have this backwards. My bad. So the short leg should be 47.6, and then the long leg should be 47.6 square root 3. Sorry, I got that backwards. And then on 12, I got the short leg is 84, and then you double that to get 168 for the hypotenuse. And then the rest of this under equilateral triangles and whatnot, we're going to have to deal with that on the review day. So any questions, I should be here tomorrow morning, Tuesday, should be here Wednesday morning as well. I do not have tutoring after school on Tuesday tomorrow because I have a meeting, but hopefully this helps you out. Have a good day. Bye-bye.